Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back to I Allegedly. And I've got a good one for you today because as everybody's focused on silver and gold right now, there's other things that affect our daily lives that are going through the roof right now. And we need to talk about this. Like, subscribe. Let's get right into it. First things first, natural gas. Think about this. In January of 2026, we have seen natural gas go up 100%. Last week, it went up 70% in 1 week. And I've had people write me and say, well, Dan, this is going up because of the cold spell. Oh, yeah. Ask the people in Philadelphia last month that had their average heating bill go up by $30. Some people have written me $50. Some people have said it's gone up $100. My son in the Boston area is freezing right now, and he just had that cold spill. They had snow like he's never seen his 4 years in New England, Dad, and look at this snow, and calls me at midnight and shows me how every car in the parking lot, you can't tell. It looks like bumps of snow that are 6 feet tall. And he's like, gosh, we're so screwed, Dad. We can't leave the house. The doors are blocked. And thank God we have food because we can live here for 3 or 4 days until they tell people they can go back to work. Wild, wild. So everything's back. He's back now. But people don't realize the expense of this stuff. But your natural gas, think about it. To heat your own home, it's gone up. And to blame the storm, oh, that's why it's gone up. No, it's a commodity. It's already in the ground. The companies already have it, and you're using it. I don't understand that thievery that we're subjected to. So, you know, let me know what you think about that so far. As we talk about real estate, and the most expensive listing, according to Realtor.com, was a Bel Air mansion called Le Fin. This place is just incredible. There's a story below that just explains it. It's absolutely unbelievable. Thing about this is that it's $149 million last week for this house. 149,99999. Okay. Well, guess what? They just dropped it $49 million in price. So now it's $99 million. It's still the most expensive house. So was it not worth $150 million? And now it's only worth $100 million? You see the wackiness of real estate. I have people that write me all the time. Right now, the hot topic is Vegas. Vegas is getting clobbered right now because people went out and bought stuff and thought it was going to double and triple. They bought a house for 600,000 and tried to list it for 1.5 million. And some people bought that stuff on your street, but the rest of these people are stuck and cannot unload these houses. Now, Le Fin, this house that's got a room for your car museum. Imagine having so many cars that are so nice, you have a museum in your house. That's another area that my brother sent me a bunch of articles on, is the collector car market. It's dead right now. I spoke to a car salesman about that, and he told me it's just, Dan, things are off 60%. You can get basically 40% of what we could get 6 months ago. Is that just the sign of the times? Is it the economy? What is that? Next thing that I can't stand are the e-bikes. These kids that ride these e-bikes up and down the street and the sidewalks, and then they'll ride at night with black clothes on, and some of these things go 40 miles an hour, and they just ride the opposite direction of what they're supposed to with traffic. Well, New Jersey is the first state in the union. New York passed a law that said that they could go no faster than 15 miles an hour on a public street. New Jersey says you have to have a license now to ride one of these e-bikes, and you must be wearing a proper helmet, which is like a motorcycle helmet. So if you don't have that, these people are going to be in huge, huge trouble and get tickets. But it's for their own safety. What do you think about that? Share your thoughts on that one, because I'm just sick of it. Look at this today. Look how beautiful this is. It's absolutely stunning. Huntington Beach Pier, where they have all the surf competitions. The tide is really far out, and this side will give you an idea. If you ever want to look up here, you can. There's a lot of public cameras that you can check out. My brother, let me know when you're walking out there, and then they're looking at me right now. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of fun, but you're going to see more and more of this. Now, one thing I like to talk about is Jamie Dimon, man of the people. He's just one of us. He was making $38 million last year, and he told, his board, you have to pay me, you know, to represent the largest bank in the industry. I need a salary that goes along with being the largest bank in the industry. So they raised his pay to $44 million. Now, it's going to be great. Goldman Sachs CEO David Solomon, he made $47 million in his base salary. It will be great because I guarantee you in the next 30 to 45 days, Jamie Dimon's going to have a board meeting. He's going to say that he needs $48 million to be the highest paid banker. He needs a $5 million bump from 44 to, it's almost 44 to more money than David Solomon, which is crazy. Again, it's so much money. Jamie Dimon made $770 million last year with stock options. We covered that earlier this month. But my buddy sent me a story about Nike. Nike is getting rid of 775 jobs for automation and AI. 775 jobs at the shoe plant and manufacturing and logistics. Bye. See you later. 775 people are out of a job right now. That is nuts. Did you guys know that Jennifer Garner started a business called Once Upon a Farm? And it's been incredibly successful, but they're going to have um, it's going to have its own IPO, and it's a children's organic food company. Um, but the valuation of the IPO, guys, is well over $270 million for her. Wow, gosh, good for you. That is crazy. So she's done. She's done. I mean, she'll never have to work a second of her life again for that. So let me know what you think about that. Did you know that? Because the other one is Jessica Alba. With her Honest cleaning product, she had an allergy and she had sensitivity to smells. My late girlfriend had that exact same thing. Couldn't clean with certain things around her house. And then when she heard about Jessica's products, she started to purchase those and thought that they were great and had no issue with that. But I'm telling you, these celebrities, they can go to these investment banks and they can go out and they can start different um, ways of marketing. You're going to see individual companies also go out and start their own production companies. You're going to see the most wild companies, from shoe companies, start a production company. All these people that have different products. I mean, it's I'm getting hit with this where you're seeing companies that you never would anticipate having a streaming service are going to start streaming. I own newvideos.com. I have that as a streaming service. We're adding all these features all the time to it. But what you're going to see is you're going to see more individual companies that are going to go out and they're going to have their own streaming service. Mark my words. News coverage is changing. You get people like me out here talking, telling you different stories. I gather things from 50 different sources every day. And I'm working late at night trying to get the latest things to talk about, things you may not have heard of. I get your emails from around the country, Dr. Marvin, Laura, Liz, John, Doug, all these different people that send me stuff. And it's so great because you may not hear about these stories in Connecticut. You may not hear what's happening, but something good happened, and that is the New York Post just expanded to add another complete newspaper called the California Post, and it went live on Monday. The cool thing about this is that it's the New York Post on the West Coast, and it's covering and slamming stuff with the same flair and panache that the New York Post does. The New York Post has great, um, you know, reporters, and they try to do a deep dive on stuff. And it's not just New York and West Coast. It is a full blown newspaper with its own staff, which is super cool, and it's competing against the LA Times, which is dying. I always said if I made $1 jillion, I would buy the Orange County Register, and the Orange County Register is now in the offices of the LA Times, so there's no segregation from Orange County and LA County, which sucks. Now, the Washington Post, that's owned by Jeff Bezos, who married the weather girl, that guy, his newspaper just announced that they're not going to cover the Olympics this year. Hello, really? No Olympics coverage. And they're thinking about completely getting rid of sports altogether from the Washington Post. Well, you know, it is a rag. Okay, it is just bagging on one side of the political spectrum. Which, if that's your thing, go read it, go do it. I try to be middle of the road. I really do. I know a lot of people are probably laughing right now, but you've got to have a perspective of everybody. Now, the California Post, they're going hardcore onto sports. So it'll be great. When they do baseball, it'll be fantastic because there's a lot of baseball teams. We've got 4 baseball teams here in California, and it'll be great to see the coverage when the season starts. So the Treasury Department just announced that they're canceling all contracts with the large consulting firm Booz Allen Hamilton. And the reason for this is that this company had an employee who ended up getting convicted of this, gave out Donald Trump's tax returns, Elon Musk's tax returns, and disseminated them to people. Guys, do you want your tax return given out? What should happen if that happened to you? I had a woman write me and said that she has to have a PIN number. I have to have a PIN number. I had my identity stolen, and some jackass filed a tax return, 10 or 12 years ago, whenever that was. And ever since then, I have to have the PIN program to go out and issue and send my tax return to the feds. So I just want you guys to see how beautiful this is. So Booz Allen Hamilton lost their contract. Imagine that multi-million-dollar contract that these people do not have now. Isn't that crazy? So, wow, I love coming out here. It's such a beautiful morning. Get breakfast, go for a walk. It's funny, there's a bar down the street from here, and a buddy of mine wrote that they went out of business over the weekend. They just had closed early and didn't open yet, so I went in there to find that out. So it's a non-news story that the place closed down. The drunks are there. Okay, I walked by and saw them. Now, a couple things to finish this video. Don't forget we have the private channel, I Allegedly Live. You sign up at iallegedly.tv. I love doing that content. It's uncensored. Check out newvideos.com. We gave a free trial to I Allegedly last week. Check your emails this week because if you're not on the list, you can get on the list and find out who won. We're going to start giving out all the prizes and everything this week. And last 2 stories are, they're talking about, will people travel this year? No, they're not going to travel for 2 reasons. The expense and the fact that people have no extra money. That's going to be the main reason to eliminate travel. Las Vegas is off right now tremendously, but the off-strip hotels, the places off the strip like the South Point, the Durango, when you go to Red Rock, these places are still doing great because they're offering incentives and things to get people to come to their establishments. Those places are doing well. There's an article that I found about Canadians boycotting the United States right now because of what's going on, politically. No, it's complete, I almost swore, it's complete nonsense because of the fact that Canadians are just like us and they have no money. So the fact that they're strapped right now tells you one thing. And then the final story, and this is awesome. My friend Mike said he's waiting for a robot that's going to weed his farm and make it so that he won't have to weed himself, which is awesome. But there's a man that has a snowblower in New Jersey. He's got a cool property, successful guy, clearly. Let's walk away from the music. And clearly the guy is a successful guy, but he spent $5,000 on a robot that will snowblow his property and clean it up. And I'm like, God, that's worth $5,000. Thing just goes up and down, and like I showed you those robots that mow your lawn, this thing does snow blowing to clear his driveway, and he sits there and drinks coffee and brags about that. Well, that's worth every frickin' penny of that. And again, I don't own, clearly this guy's got a driveway That's looks like it's a football field, but this guy clearly, uh, money well spent. What do you think about that? Because I think the automation is going to change everything. And when you hear about a farmer that wants to just have, something that could automatically pick weeds all day, and then you turn it off and say, thank you, good job. I mean, that's the end of it. They don't show up late. They don't call in sick. They don't tell you, oh, it's my aunt's birthday on Thursday of next week. I'm going to be sick. They don't have any shenanigans like that. Let me know what you think. You want to email me, it's hello@iallegedly.com. It's the only email to look at. Hello@iallegedly.com. Onward and upward, guys. I'll see you very soon.